Most shredded cheese in America contains wood pulp. Not metaphorically, not as a figure of speech, literal wood pulp processed into a fine powder called cellulose coated onto every single shred in the bag. And it is perfectly legal. Americans spend over $7 billion a year on shredded cheese. It is one of the most purchased dairy items in the country, and a measurable percentage of every bag you buy is not cheese. It is cellulose. It is potato starch. It is cornstarch. It is a mold inhibitor called natamycin. You are paying cheese prices for filler weight. Today, we are auditing 9 of the most popular shredded cheese brands in America. 6 of them failed. 3 of them are the real thing, and 1 of them might be the best value in the entire dairy aisle. I spent over 40 hours auditing every shredded cheese brand on the shelf to find the truth, and the results were not what I expected. Here is how the shredded cheese industry actually works. When you shred cheese, the pieces stick together. That is just the physics of dairy fat at room temperature. To stop that from happening, manufacturers coat every shred in an anti-caking agent. The cheapest option is powdered cellulose, a processed derivative of wood pulp. It costs pennies per pound. Real aged cheddar costs $4 to $6 per pound. That math is the entire business model. But cellulose is not the only filler. Most brands also add potato starch, cornstarch, or both. These serve a dual purpose. They absorb moisture and they add weight. Every gram of starch in that bag is a gram of cheese you are not getting. Then there is natamycin. It is a mold inhibitor that extends shelf life far beyond what real cheese can achieve on its own. It is not there for your benefit. It is there so the bag can sit in a distribution warehouse for weeks before it ever reaches the shelf. The FDA does not set a hard legal limit on how much cellulose can go into shredded cheese. The industry standard is roughly 2 to 4% for functional anti-caking purposes. But in 2016, Bloomberg commissioned independent lab tests on store-bought Parmesan and found cellulose levels as high as 8.8%. That is more than double the functional amount. That same year, the president of Castle Cheese Incorporated pleaded guilty to federal fraud charges for selling products labeled 100% real Parmesan that contained zero Parmesan, just cheaper cheese, fillers, and cellulose. This is not a few bad actors. This is the system working exactly as designed. And here is what makes it worse. The brands that use the most filler often charge nearly the same price per ounce as the brands that use the least. You would think more filler means a cheaper product. It does not. The savings go to the manufacturer, not to you. The cellulose and starch cost them almost nothing, but the retail price stays anchored to what real cheese would cost. That means the filler is not just replacing cheese in the bag. It is inflating the profit margin on every single unit sold. You are subsidizing their cost-cutting with your grocery budget, and the label is designed so you never notice. Brand number 1, Kraft. Kraft is the most recognized cheese brand in America. Their shredded cheese bags say natural cheese on the front in bold lettering. Flip the bag over. The ingredient list includes cellulose powder, potato starch, cornstarch, calcium sulfate, and natamycin. That is a triple filler system plus a synthetic mold inhibitor on a product marketed as natural. Kraft's parent company has faced class action scrutiny over the use of the word natural on products containing processed wood fiber and synthetic preservatives. The front of the bag is marketing. The back of the bag is the truth. Brand number 2, Great Value. Great Value is Walmart's store brand, and it is one of the highest volume shredded cheese products in the country. The ingredient list includes cellulose, potato starch, cornstarch, and natamycin. It is priced as the budget option, but the filler to cheese ratio means you are getting even less real cheese per ounce than the label suggests. Shake the bag. That thick layer of white powder at the bottom is not seasoning. It is the anti-caking cocktail you are paying for by weight. The savings disappear when you realize how much of the bag is not cheese. Brand number 3, Borden. Borden is a heritage dairy name. The brand has been around for over 160 years, but heritage does not equal quality. Their shredded cheese contains cellulose, potato starch, and natamycin, the same industrial filler recipe as every budget brand on the shelf. Borden filed for bankruptcy in 2020, citing declining milk prices and crushing debt. When a company is under that kind of financial pressure, every product line gets optimized for margin. The ingredient list confirms it. Brand number 4, Crystal Farms. Crystal Farms markets itself as a mid-tier dairy brand. The packaging implies farm freshness. The ingredient list includes potato starch, powdered cellulose, and natamycin. Home melt tests on Crystal Farms shredded cheese reveal a gritty, separated texture, a hallmark of excessive starch coating. The shreds do not melt smoothly because they are not just cheese. They are cheese wrapped in a layer of industrial powder. The label says dairy, the performance says otherwise. Brand number 5, Kroger brand. Kroger is one of the largest grocery retailers in America, and their private label shredded cheese moves enormous volume. The ingredient list includes cellulose, potato starch, cornstarch, and natamycin. It is the exact same filler profile as Kraft and Great Value, repackaged under a store brand that implies freshness and local sourcing. There is nothing local about powdered cellulose. This is the same industrial recipe sold under a different name at a slightly different price point. The ingredient panel does not lie. Brand number 6, Sargento. And then there is Sargento. This one is important. Sargento has built an entire brand identity around being real, natural cheese. They have run national advertising campaigns positioning themselves as the anti-processed option. They charge a premium for it, and consumers pay that premium believing they are getting something better. Flip the bag over: potato starch, powdered cellulose, natamycin, the exact same 3 fillers found in the budget brands they market against. The difference is the price tag and the advertising budget. Sargento is arguably the widest marketing to reality gap on the entire shelf. You are paying for a brand story, not a better product. You do not need a lab to audit your shredded cheese. You can do this tonight with whatever is in your fridge. The water dissolve test. Take a handful of shredded cheese and drop it into a bowl of warm water. Stir it gently for 30 seconds. Real cheese will soften, clump together, and release visible milk fat into the water. It behaves like dairy because it is dairy. Filler-heavy cheese leaves a cloudy, starchy residue in the water. The shreds resist breaking down because the cellulose and starch coating acts as a waterproof barrier around each piece. If your water turns milky white with grit at the bottom, that is not cheese dissolving. That is the filler separating. The bag shape test. Pick up your bag of shredded cheese and shake it hard for 5 seconds. Then look at the bottom of the bag. A light dusting of powder is normal and expected. A thick, visible layer of white powder means heavy cellulose and starch coating. You are paying cheese prices for that powder. Every gram of it came out of your wallet. Try both tests. The results will tell you more than any label ever will. There is a reason these tests work. Cellulose is insoluble plant fiber. It does not dissolve, it does not melt, and it does not behave like dairy. Starch turns cloudy in water and leaves grit behind. Real cheese does neither. The science is simple and the evidence sits at the bottom of the bowl. Brand number 7, Tillamook. Tillamook is a farmer-owned cooperative founded in 1909 on the Oregon coast. Their shredded cheese uses real aged cheese with only potato starch as an anti-caking agent. No cellulose, no cornstarch, no natamycin. The ingredient list is remarkably short compared to anything else on the shelf. Tillamook's cooperative ownership model means the farmers who supply the milk also control the product. There is no corporate parent pressuring them to optimize for margin over quality. They have maintained this standard for over 115 years. The price difference is approximately $1 to $2 more per bag than Kraft. For a product that is actually what it claims to be, that is not a premium, that is a bargain. Brand number 8, Cabot. Cabot is a cooperative of dairy farm families across New England, founded in 1919. Their shredded cheese contains potato starch only for anti-caking in most varieties. No cellulose, no natamycin, no cornstarch. Cabot has won hundreds of awards for their cheddar, and the shredded product holds to the same standard. Their cooperative structure means profits go back to the farm families, not to a corporate board optimizing quarterly earnings. The result is a product made by people who actually care whether the cheese is good. Price-wise, Cabot sits in the same range as Sargento, but with an ingredient list that actually delivers on the promise Sargento only markets. Brand number 9, Organic Valley. Organic Valley is a cooperative of organic farmers founded in 1988. Their shredded cheese is USDA certified organic, uses organic cheese as the primary ingredient, and contains only potato starch for anti-caking. No cellulose, no natamycin, no cornstarch, no modified food starch, no natural flavors. The organic certification prohibits many of the synthetic additives that conventional brands rely on. This is the cleanest shredded cheese widely available in American grocery stores. It is the most expensive option on this list, approximately $2 to $3 more per bag than Kraft. But you are paying for cheese, not for wood pulp and starch. Every dollar goes toward the actual product, not the filler disguising it. If transparency and ingredient purity are your priority, Organic Valley is the gold standard on the shelf. 6 brands failed this audit, not because they broke the law, but because the law lets them get away with it. Cellulose, potato starch, cornstarch, natamycin. The same filler playbook across every price point, from budget to premium. The only thing that changes is the marketing. 3 brands passed: Tillamook, Cabot, and Organic Valley. Farmer-owned cooperatives with short ingredient lists and no wood pulp in the bag. They prove that it is possible to sell shredded cheese that is actually cheese. Next time you pick up a bag, flip it over. Read the ingredient list. Do the water test. Do the bag shake test. The information is right there. It always has been. The industry just bets that you will not look. Your health is not a commodity for these corporations to optimize. The food industry will not tell you the truth, but we will. Subscribe for more.